Good afternoon, Cole. How are you?
Good. How are you?
How you been recently?
I've been pretty good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you been doing?
Been studying a lot for finals and working on some papers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that doing on your well-being? Just being really busy and
I think it gets me a little short-tempered. Just getting stressed out. Not thinking about what other people think about, and I'm just kind of like thinking about myself just 'cause I've been focusing on my studies.
yeah, it can kind of make you a little bit once you're so focused on your goals and tasks that you have to finish. It's kind of tough to like think about what other people are doing, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
definitely.
Yeah. Is there any instances in which like you're feeling short-tempered with people?
Yeah, just the other day, my buddy, we were in a little Bible study, and he was taking more of a leadership role, which is good because he is in a leadership position. But at that time, I didn't feel like it was his position to be leading because there's already a leader there.
Yeah.
And I was already irritated before that, and
Yeah.
so just in that moment, I was just a little short-tempered and quiet and didn't really say anything because I was just irritated at him, not necessarily because he was doing anything, but probably because I was focused on my studies and just focused on myself and kind of didn't take a step back to look at how his position he was in and what he needed to be doing.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're a pretty good thinker and you're very self-aware because, like you mentioned, you said that like you knew what you were frustrated with, but at the same time you knew what was kind of going on, you know? And do you think that's kind of been like a reoccurring thing with your friend, or is it kind of just like a one-time thing?
Yeah. I've noticed a couple instances when I've thought he was kind of out of line in our friend group, just trying to do leadership. And I don't know if that is he's been put into a new position, not in our friend group, but in his community to be a leader, and I think he's practicing that in our friendship, which kind of just irritates me, and I feel like he should be walking with me instead of ahead of me, trying to lead me. And I haven't noticed it since that last time, and I thought a lot about it and trying to think whether I should let him know how I'm feeling or just see if it'll change or just see where he goes from there.
Yeah.
And just I didn't want to give him the impression that he shouldn't be trying to be a leader, which he should be, but I just didn't think that the instance that he was leading was his place to be the leader. So.
Yeah. Do you, would you kind of like him to stop, like, trying to lead you and your kind of group of friends? Could you give me an instance in which he, like, actually did that? Do you have anything specific, or?
Just in, I guess over text message, I've noticed we're in a group and with all of our small group, and the leader jokingly was saying we're gonna go and wash cars or whatever, just hang out, and I asked if we needed to do like the reading for that day, and my buddy replies, yes, do the reading, when it wasn't really his position to tell me to do the reading.
Yeah.
I was more asking the leader what his plans were and what plans were for the small group.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like a major thing. It just kind of got me off guard, as like that wasn't really his place to tell me. And he's just kind of been putting more of a, I'm kind of not holier than thou, but I'm like in this position where you should come do this, or you probably should do this, and I've just thought, man, he needs to kind of give me free reins on my life and not kind of overshadow me and just kind of like watch what I'm doing and tell me where I need to do better things or do this or do that.
What do you think led him to kind of putting himself in this leadership position, or kind of taking on the persona of being like a higher leader than like you or your buddies may be?
I think him being placed on the college Young Life team, he's kind of taken it on himself to be a leader in the college, which is his position. But I don't. It's a tough balance, I think, for him to balance who he needs to be a leader over and who he needs to be a friend with.
Yeah.
And I think his relationships that he already has, specifically with me and Justin, he needs to be more of a friend instead of a leadership role, instead of that leadership role, which is a tough balance that I think he just needs to figure out. And it's still early on, so I didn't take it personally, and I don't think I've reacted awkwardly. I just makes me feel a little uncomfortable and feel a little micromanaged. But I think that's where he's coming from, and that's what's kind of put him in that role.
Yeah. So it sounds like it sounds like you've analyzed the whole situation at least. What do you think that you would like to have differently, or what do you think you would enjoy differently?
I think if he just kind of stepped back a little bit and walked with us and just kind of like let specifically our small group leader lead him instead of him trying to take on that role. I think that would be better for our relationship, just so it doesn't feel like he's trying to lead me, which obviously in the back of my mind I'm a little I think prejudiced, sort of, not really, but when I am around him, I think of, oh, is he going to try and tell me to do this, or I need to be doing this, and that's not how I want our relationship to be as a friend. I just want I want him to keep me accountable for things I should be doing, but I don't want him to be leading me, telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing. I want him to encourage me in what I'm doing and encourage each other in our walk.
Yeah, okay. So say by chance your buddy was to continue to act this way with you and with your buddies and kind of like the community he's been placed in since being a college Young Life leader. What do you think it would look like if he didn't stop doing that?
I've thought about that. We're also living together next semester, and I've thought what would happen if he tried to micromanage me or just kind of try and take that leadership role. And I think I'd have to confront him in some form or fashion, just to tell him that I'd prefer if he didn't try to lead me. Because we both already have a leader in our small group who pours into us and leads us and directs us back to a path that we should be following, and just encourages us throughout college and throughout the day. And I enjoy walking through college with him and seeing how he's doing and watching him grow. And I would just have to say that I would not like him to push me to do certain things and tell me to do this and try and just lead me. I think if he kept me accountable in certain aspects, that would be good, but I just don't want him to take that position into our friendship.
Yeah, it sounds like a tough situation. Especially being in the middle of that and it kind of being so close to school ending. I understand that there's also that time factor into making a quick decision. But say you were to talk to him sooner than later, and you decided to tell him something and show him that maybe there isn't too much of a status difference between y'all, and maybe that y'all could actually walk together through college and learn things together and sharpen one another. So imagine that and thinking how different that would be compared to kind of just letting it roll over. How do you think that would be if you did mention something.
I think that would be beneficial to our relationship. I also didn't want. He needs to be a leader in his position,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to discourage him from like putting on that leadership role around me and not being a leader to other guys that he should be leading. So I didn't want to tell him that I didn't want him to be a leader and just discourage him from being a leadership role to other freshmen or other new people in our community, which is where he should be and where he should be focusing on. And it's going to be tough for him to balance that leadership in different circles. And it's going to be tough for me to just let him lead and respect that responsibility that he has and just kind of take his authoritativeness, I guess, with a grain of salt. Because he does have authority in the for the college ministry, and he needs to start practicing being a leader and start gaining those responsibilities. And I don't want to discourage him from that. So I think if I did it the right way and at the right time, it would encourage him to be a leader, but also to be a friend first to me.
Yeah. Yeah, if you were to decide to say some things, what do you think would be some moves you could make, or some even goals you could set to kind of accomplishing, and when it comes to making moves into mentioning something, or kind of like navigating him towards this, or back maybe even towards this same level, same friendship, walk together thing, rather than leaving. Kind of.
I've thought about it, and I've decided that if another instance where he takes on that leadership role to me, when he tries to be leadership directly to me, I think I'm gonna talk to him one-on-one and just tell him I enjoy his friendship, and I've enjoyed watching him become the leader he is and watched him grow and lead others, but I'd prefer if he didn't try and lead me and just kind of watch over my back.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed him keeping me accountable in certain things, and I want him to continue doing that, but I do not want him to kind of micromanage me in college.
Yeah.
Because I have other things I need to be doing, and I have just a different priorities than he does, I guess.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. It sounds like you've thought thoroughly through the situation, and it also sounds like you're working very hard with all your other responsibilities and all your other priorities that you have in place here in college in your first year of school. And I appreciate talking to you about that, and I'm excited to see you and watch you do those things. So thank you for talking with me.
No problem.